Mr. Chairman. As you and I talked about, and I mentioned in my opening statement, I'm concerned about the ongoing IIJA implementation. And so it began with the December 16th memorandum that was put out that really, I think, brought a lot of confusion, but also some concern that the flexibilities that each state has enjoyed to be able to make the determinations, whether it's equity or climate or capacity, those states have been able to make those decisions. It's also important to note that included in the memo was direct language from the bills that came out of the House, which the chairman and I did in our negotiations was not included in our bill. So that's the will of Congress. So what is your view of this memorandum, and how do you see it being used by FHWA moving forward?
Thank you, Ranking Member Capito. And yes, I heard you clearly yesterday, and I've also watched the hearing from March, and even outside of that, I've heard from a lot of stakeholders in the industry about, initially was there some confusion from states. I would say that I believe that a lot of that confusion is beginning to abate because of statements from the Secretary where he has said that he intends to uphold the law. And I would say that if confirmed, I would want to make sure that working with our state partners that they understand that, we just want to be consistent in following the law, and that we will absolutely do that. And I would just point to, as I mentioned yesterday, the project in Maryland that did receive a record of decision that involves added capacity as a signal that even before my confirmation is being considered, that FHWA is moving forward with some capacity projects.
Thank you. The other issue that we talked about was the inconsistency between the divisions, where you might get West Virginia might get an answer in one area, and then North Carolina might get a different answer from their division. And I think that's particularly important when you look at this in light of the guidance that is out there, but also the effects of the law and the intentions of the law. So what can you do to resolve those broad inconsistencies? And I think you recognize they do exist.
Thank you for that question as well. I would say that from my experience before with federal highways, sort of one of the backbones of federal highways is the fact that we have a division office in all 50 states, and that's a great thing. But what can be challenging is those divisions are filled with people, and people can hear or read one thing and maybe interpret a little bit differently, and then that creates some of the inconsistency potentially. And so one of the things, if confirmed, is I will plan to issue, obviously, clear communication, but then also follow it up with a lot of communication and visits with those division offices, so to make sure that we are able to spread this message of, we're one agency, and therefore there's one answer for that gets consistently delivered to all of our states.
Well, I think that would be much appreciated in some sense, because it does eliminate time. If you think your other states or other regions are doing things differently, you're going to go back and keep trying, and that's more time, that's more money, that's more inability to get things done. I mentioned the thing that happened in West Virginia where the transfer of the funds, of the 50% of the funds, went to another program, which is allowable in the law, and that they had received 3 months after they were given permission to do that, a letter discouraging them from doing that, which makes you wonder who's writing the letters. But I would like to know that you would uphold the right of states to transfer up to 50% of certain highway programs to other eligible highway programs, and if you have any thoughts on that particular issue.
Thank you.
Did you ever do that in Colorado?
Absolutely. Thank you, Ranking Member Capito. So absolutely, we have flexed dollars. I mean, delivering projects is a delicate balance.
Right.
Of federal dollars, state dollars. So you flex. You have CMAQ money, and there's eligibilities for it. So I think that when states are coming and saying we need to flex funds, we want to make sure that we are making sure that we're allowing them to deliver those projects as quickly and effectively as possible.
So when you were the transportation administrator in Colorado, you flexed funds as much as 50%? Don't recall.
I don't want to like give absolutes, but we absolutely worked with like Dr. Cog in Denver to for CMAQ money to go to them, and then we'd match it with state dollars. So I'm sure some of the bus tank funding. I just want to go back and double check, but yes, flexing is something that came out of federal law a few years ago,
Right.
And it's a great tool for states.
I appreciate your emphasis on that. Thank you. Thank you again for being here. I just have a quick statement. I mentioned in my opening statement that I had submitted questions for the record for the Secretary from his opportunity in March. It's been 6 months. We haven't received any answers, and so I would ask that you take that back, that my frustration at not having been responded to is not taken lightly by me, and I would appreciate some responses. So I know that's not your fault or in your realm of responsibility right now, but I do know that you're going to be having conversations. So if you would just relay that message for me, if they don't hear it right now, I wanted to reiterate it. But I really thank you and your beautiful family for being here. Thank you.